what's up? Be the change hotline. I can't get to the phone right now. Leave a message after the beep.
You're now listening to the Nameless podcast, hosted by two sisters, Alisia and Ciarra. Join us as we have intimate conversations with some of our closest friends about real-world struggles, lessons, and situations.
Each episode will leave you thinking that was quite the experience.
Talk to you soon. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Nameless podcast. This is Alisia.
This is Ciarra.
And we are here with our second episode of season 2.
Yes, y'all.
How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Minus the snow outside, but you know I'm doing great regardless.
I don't like the snow again. I think we revisited that last episode. I think
it was it raining last time or snowing?
It was snowing last time, I think, yeah. And I don't do that.
It's not sticking on the street, so hopefully you're good.
No, yeah, I'm chilling.
That's good.
Chilling.
All right, well, let's get into it. You want to drop the socials real quick?
Yes, follow us on Facebook at Official Nameless Podcast and on Instagram, Nameless_podcast_. We are only 16 people
away from 300.
And the 300th person gets a free hoodie. So
facts.
Check it out, and you can win some free merch. So
yeah, make sure you give us a follow and all of that. Our Instagram numbers are getting up there, but like we always say, we're way more active on Facebook, so make sure you check that out because all of the links are posted to all the platforms where you can catch all of season 1 and then the rest of season 2 when we post it.
Yes. Yeah. You want to tell them what we're talking about today?
Yeah, we are talking about a pretty in-depth topic, if I do say so myself, even though every topic we talk about is
pretty in-depth.
Yeah, but it is basically about the criminal justice system in America.
Yes.
And some stories, specifics, examples that we may have of sometimes the justice system failing people.
Yes. But first, we're going to talk about the Long Shot documentary on Netflix.
Right.
I watched that recently. She told me actually to watch it because I had never watched it. It's been out since 2017.
It's been out for a minute. Yeah, I saw it a while ago.
It's been a couple years.
Yeah.
But basically, it's about Juan, this guy named Juan in California. He was committed of a crime that he did not actually...
Accused,
yes.
I'm going to say, bring it back, player.
Then, yes, accused of a crime that he did not commit.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
But that was in Los Angeles.
In 2003.
Yes, and he was locked up for
Martha Puebla. Okay, listen, I kind of want to... Okay, he was charged with this crime May 12th of 2003. Every single type of crime or true crime documentary series that I watch, people are always murdered right around my birthday. Like, it's always, like, the first or second week of May. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because, like, the weather's getting nice.
You should look at what the moon is during that time. It might be like a full moon and people are just acting crazy.
It could be, but it's literally every single documentary I watch. It's like May 2nd, person arrested, killed their mom, stabbed them, shanked them up. Like, and it's always, okay, anyways, we're getting off topic. But anyways, yes, again. May 12th, 2003, Martha Puebla. She was 16 years old. She was murdered.
In a drive-by.
In a drive-by shooting.
Yes, and they thought that it was Juan because Juan's brother actually... She testified in a case that Juan's brother was in.
Right.
And they thought that he was trying to retaliate against her because his brother got
what she
life.
said. Right.
But he didn't even know who
So,
she
like,
was.
what happened was he was like, yo, I was at a baseball game with my son the whole entire time.
His daughter.
His daughter? I'm sorry. Okay, child of his. Anyways, gender, doesn't matter. But he was like, I was at a baseball game with my kid. Like, I have the tickets to prove it. But then they still took him to trial, and they still weren't trying to listen to anything like that.
Tickets didn't prove anything, basically, because...
Yeah, he could have bought them from anybody.
They didn't have proof, like, evidence, like, actual video footage.
And it was 2003. Flip phones, cameras, you really wouldn't be, like, on Snapchat. Snapchat wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, no.
So he wouldn't really have, like, proof, like, yo... Here we go. Timestamp all of
memory.
Exactly. And so what happened after that then when he got the trial?
When he got the trial?
When they got to trial. And then his attorneys were very good.
Were actually like pushing. They actually contacted it was the Los Angeles Dodgers, I want to say.
Yes.
Their baseball team, their PR representatives and everything, contact them. And they actually pulled who was there because Juan said that there was production company.
Yeah, somebody was like filming a show or a TV show.
And they were like right by his seat. And the show I want to say is Curb Your Enthusiasm. It was on HBO.
Right.
So they reached out to those producers. Those producers ended up pulling like all the I forgot what they called them. It was like little
the
clips.
B footage.
It was like little clips that they took from like across the stadium and everything. They went through it for hours and hours and hours, and they finally actually found Juan on camera.
Oh yeah.
Like, he was walking right past the camera as soon as they were shooting, and he wasn't actually supposed to go down, but they let him walk past anyway to go back to his seat.
I saw that, like, the people who were doing the production or whatever, they were like, yeah, we were told, like, don't let anybody come down the shot, but then I guess so-and-so didn't do their job correctly.
And he's
so
like, I guess
they
that
were
was
like,
a bad PR, yeah.
Yeah, but he walked down and literally sat with, like, a hot dog in his hand and a drink with his kid. And he was caught on camera, and that was the only thing that saved him from going to jail for murder. That he didn't do. So, like, good thing, like, his attorneys actually took the initiative to, like, push for it and actually, like, I guess you can say believed him.
Yeah, I mean, he had the ticket, so, like, I feel as if...
I know, but if you're...
But then he also had two other witnesses. He was with his friend and his cousin.
True.
And his daughter.
True.
So they...
But my thing is, like, even if you're a defense attorney for, like, a murderer, like... Obviously, you have to say, like, my client's not guilty because it's like you're being paid to, like, defend them.
Yeah,
and
most
you're not
people
gonna
are just
even
do
your
the
own
bare minimum.
Right, and your own personal, like, opinions aside, like, you still have to say they're not guilty.
Yes.
But this man actually wasn't guilty.
And he tried to get, but it was go on Netflix and just watch it.
Oh,
like, I'm telling you,
really
you
good.
won't regret it. I watched it in a night. Like, it's not even that long. It's like probably 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's
like
a short documentary.
So, but it's really good. Like,
but it does, like I said, talk to actually attorneys following the proper protocols and procedures
that are needed
for situations like that. And the justice system in his case actually did work.
Yes, it
in
did.
his favor and worked properly.
But it's not working in.
But it's not working in another person that's on Netflix.
Avery.
Stephen Avery. Making a Murder. I'm sure everybody's seen Making a Murder. If you haven't, maybe you're living under a rock or something.
Honestly,
I don't know.
I've never truly watched it. But
you haven't?
No, but I know about it. Like, I've read articles and, like, so I know what's going on with it, but I've actually never watched the documentary.
Listen,
it's a series, right?
Yeah, it's 2 seasons out.
Yeah,
but it was filmed over a course of like
10 years
almost. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew all that. But
they wilding out there in Wisconsin. Okay. That's all I gotta say. Wisconsin, yo, get your stuff together, player.
Yo.
No, okay, but Stephen Avery, like I said, if you haven't seen it, go watch it along with the other one. But he basically served like 17 years in jail for a crime that he didn't commit.
Yes.
And he was exonerated then at that point.
Yeah.
And got out of jail because of DNA. Like, yes, I think it happened in like the 80s.
It was like 20. No. Yes, it was like 1983.
Yeah, it was a while ago. We was about to say 20 years ago. 20 years ago was 2000.
That's why I had to stop myself, because saying that is
that's 40
disgusting.
years ago, actually.
Disgusting.
But I guess like during that time, DNA wasn't like a prominent thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like they had DNA and stuff, but then they were just able to run it probably, I think, the early 2000s. So he got out of jail. So then he basically was suing the police department for faulty conviction and stuff like that, and he was about to make like $20 million. They were gonna owe him so much money, but then he got caught up in a whole nother conspiracy thing about this woman who was last seen at his house taking pictures of his cars he was selling. She ends up dead.
They thought it was him.
They think it's him, and so now that's another reason why he's sitting in jail once again.
Yes, but
for a crime that there's no DNA evidence, there's nothing, and they won't listen to what he has to say.
Literally. But his nephew.
Yes.
His nephew his nephew got out, right? Or he is getting out. He's eligible for parole.
I think he got out like 2 years ago or something like that.
Okay, yeah, I could have sworn he's either about to get out or is out.
Yeah, but there was no DNA evidence for any of them. But his nephew was like 16 years old at the time.
Yeah, and didn't he have like disabilities?
Yeah, he had like a mental health issue.
Yes, and they blamed him, just like they blamed Stephen Avery. But there's no evidence.
Exactly. So there's an example now of this criminal justice system not working out in your favor, and the steps. Oh, true, the different states.
You have to think of the states too. He's in Wisconsin,
which is pretty conservative.
Juan was in Los Angeles, California.
True.
So, which brings us to Texas.
Well, right. Okay, go ahead. Introduce that. Stephen Avery, hopefully you get out soon and people actually believe what you say.
I personally think it's by state, though.
Yeah. Watch a documentary about him and come to us about your own opinions.
Just tried to go for a retrial or whatever, and he got denied for like his appeal or whatever.
Yeah, because they don't want to pay him all the money that he's gonna be owed. He spent like 50 years of his life in jail. He's been in jail more than he's been out of jail for crimes that he didn't even commit.
Yeah, no, that's not right. Like,
no, not at all. But you want to touch on something that's, pretty in Texas right now.
All right, so we're talking about different states and whatnot and how their justice system works, because that's basically how it is. Like, it goes state by state and there's different protocols and everything. But there is a guy in Texas, his name is Biondi Rolle. He's actually been committed of a crime that I met. Why do I keep saying that? He's actually been accused of a crime.
And is serving time.
Yes. Like, he got life with no parole. No parole. And there's no evidence on him either. Like, they tested his hands for gun residue, everything. They did everything that they could have. Nothing came back to him. But
wait, let's tell the backstory first, though.
Oh, you want to tell it?
Yeah, all right. Yeah. So Biondi reached out to us, actually, about his whole story, and he wanted just to get basically, like,
it out there,
raise awareness of the situation that he's in and that other people may possibly be in. So shout out Biondi if you're listening.
Yes, shout out you.
But I guess he lived in an apartment complex and his neighbor was using his electricity.
They were giving favors to each other, basically. Some type of dispute happened between them because there was money, I think, involved.
Yeah,
that wasn't
somebody owed something,
paid or whatever. The
neighbor came to Biondi's house one night while he wasn't even there. His girlfriend was there at the time. And I guess he kicked his door. And then obviously the girlfriend was there and she's probably like freaking out, like what's going on. So she called Biondi and I guess he came back home, but he got like two of his friends and then I don't know what could have possibly been going through his head. Maybe it was just like, why would you do that?
I think it was more like a revenge thing. Like, you did it to me, I'm going to come back and kick your door back in.
Right.
So,
but he actually succeeded in kicking the door in.
Definitely did. But his two friends ran into the house.
Right.
And unfortunately, the female that got shot, she died in the house.
But his friend had a gun, and Biondi said that he didn't even know that his friend had a gun, and what his friend was even trying to do.
No, yeah, you know what I mean? No, and he told them like, "Yo, don't go in the house." Like, I was just I'm kicking the door and just to yell to him to come out, like
so we can have a conversation, probably,
like,
right?
I'm not going in your house, but his friend ran in the house, and next thing you know, Biondi heard the shots, and he's getting arrested
an hour later,
and there's no gun residue on his hand. Literally, he had no evidence of gunpowder, nothing. Like,
and the only thing he did was kick the door in. So, but he's the only one charged with capital murder, serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. The one person that was with him was a juvenile at the time.
Yes.
And this happened in 2003. So Biondi's been in jail. No, 2008.
I want
2008.
I'm not sure 100%.
I feel like it's 2008.
Actually, I'm gonna pull up the statistics real quick.
So he's been in jail for like, I think 13, 15 years.
February 3rd, 2008.
The person that was the juvenile within the group of three, like, wrote a letter to the prosecution like, yo, Biondi didn't pull the trigger. Like, it was so-and-so, the other person that was with us. Like, and everybody knows that there's letters that like we have that show that the prosecution and Biondi's lawyer reached out and was like, yo, like, it's not him. Why are you only charging him with the capital murder? And the most messed up thing is what?
The person that actually did it is eligible for parole.
Like this month.
And Biondi's still in prison and he's not going to have a chance probably to ever get a retrial because with Texas laws,
they don't care. But then another thing that adds like another layer to this whole story is that the victim was pregnant. So we all know how Texas is. with fetuses, the fetus fetish.
That's weird.
I'm gonna call it the fetus fetish.
Really
like
weird.
they're obsessed with that. So what they did at Biondi's hearing, they showed pictures of the dead fetus. So essentially, the documents that we have too, they're basically like, you shouldn't have did that because it could sway the jury more than like
to say, oh my God, he's guilty,
right?
Basically, because you're showing me a lifeless baby. Like,
that's not even like, full grown.
Exactly.
So like, it's not taking out of the fact that like she was pregnant. Like, obviously that needs to be known because that's terrible that they both lost their life because of whatever. But you shouldn't have showed the pictures because that's going to sway somebody more than anything.
Oh yeah.
So that's I think what he's arguing.
He's trying, and the fact that there's no evidence or anything on him.
Right.
Like, literally, he's
never been in trouble.
He played football.
No criminal history.
Yes.
But the kicker again is what? The only black person out of all three of them.
He was the only colored person. And
the only black
Texas,
person.
So bring it back to the justice system again and how different state by state, they don't, it all has to come down to their justice system in that state.
Yeah.
If they want to push and actually like understand you and give you a retrial and stuff, they will. But if their laws already state from 1983 and stuff
right.
that they can't, there's no way those laws are going to change because they haven't changed yet.
Preach it.
And that's what we're trying to do. Like, y'all gotta change these laws.
It's just like, and also like, just hopefully he gets a new trial because I think his girlfriend, when we spoke with her, said that he does have a new lawyer right now.
Yes, he is trying to get all the evidence compiled that he needs to actually try to appeal again. Because I'm pretty sure he did appeal back in 2012, and they denied him. Like, they still gave him the same sentence. Right. So I think he's trying to get this out there more, as well as he has a different lawyer and a different legal team to help him. So hopefully the new legal team is
better than the first one.
And
I mean, not that the first one didn't do it, because we do have those letters that they were trying to reach out to the prosecution and like, yo, like
prosecution though at that point.
They did not care.
Yeah.
So hopefully he gets a new trial or something like that, or I don't know. Pray for Biondi though. That's all I gotta say.
And the Innocence Projects help people like him.
I was gonna say, flip side of people like him, and their situation is the Innocence Project.
Yes.
You want to tell them if people don't know already what that is?
The Innocence Project was founded in 1992 by Peter Newfield and Barry Scheck. Basically, they're exonerating the wrongfully convicted. So anyone that has been convicted of a crime that they didn't actually do, they're trying to get them out and back on the streets. But the sad thing about that is 58% of the people that they've helped are blacks, and 33% are white, 7% are Latin, and 2% are Native American and Asian. But they have won 237 cases total.
So that's positive.
That is a big thing. And then they also came to the conclusion that 63% of their cases that they take on are related to eyewitness misidentification. And another thing with Biondi's case, he was never actually identified as the person.
Right, we didn't say that.
He was never identified.
Because the victim was there with her boyfriend, and the boyfriend was like, it was like a shadowy figure.
They could not tell who it actually was. They didn't pick anyone from a lineup. They didn't do any of that. So at the end of the day, he is falling into that 63% that misidentifications.
And the saddest thing about all this, that, like, yes, they won 237 cases, but, like, on average, the people that they have helped get exonerated have served 16 years. 16 years. Average. So that means it's higher than that. And then a little bit lower
like
than that.
20 years before they've gotten out.
Yeah.
They literally average all the 237 cases together, so you don't even...
It's way more. It could be way more than that.
I want to do that math to see if I can get that number, honestly.
Best of luck to you. I help you with that. Sorry.
I'll see if I can get that for, like, follow episodes.
No, but 52% was misapplied forensic science. So, like, either they had, like, things to test and they just weren't testing it, or they knew about something and they just didn't care to look that up. And 27% is about false confessions.
Yes.
So, and that's like coercion.
Oh,
God damn, I can't.
Coercion.
Coercive.
Coercive?
All right, I'm just going to stop. You say it for me, thanks.
Now I'm going to start saying it like you, so we're just going to skip that part.
Corrosive products, no shit. Coercive, probably tactics. Let's say it that way.
Yes.
Okay, so that's like me, like, yo, you know you did it. You know you did it. You're like, no, I didn't do it. Detective tactics,
basically, like they're trying to get you to say something that you didn't do.
Right. So. And there is another example of that. Again, if you're living under a rock, I hope you're not, and you know what this is, the Central Park 5.
For real.
Where the coercive tactics by police was full out in effect.
But it was on juveniles
for these kids.
It was juveniles. So at that time, they shouldn't have even been talking to them because there were no parents.
Oh, facts.
So they broke that law.
But then, I don't know if did the Innocence Project help them get out too? Because I don't remember if they were around back then.
I'm honestly not too sure. No, the Innocence Project came out in 1992, so I don't think they were around because didn't they?
No, this was in 95 or 96, right?
What, Central Park 5?
Yeah. It was like in the 90s.
I think it was. Because they're all like 40-something now.
See, I watched that documentary, what is it, When They See Us?
Yes.
I can only watch that once, and obviously it's about their story, but if you haven't seen that, I hope you watch that as well, because that's a very good, like, even though it's a scripted drama, it's still a documentary, and the young actors did, like, great job just portraying the hell that these 5 individuals actually went through because of being convicted. Why do we keep saying committed? Sheesh. Convicted of a crime of raping and murdering a woman in Central Park.
But no DNA matched them.
No DNA matched them. I'm pretty sure the person that actually did this, he was like a serial rapist or something.
Oh, really? Did they actually find the real person?
Yeah, somebody confessed or whatever to so-and-so.
Oh, wow. I never watched it.
Did you watch that? No, you have to watch that.
I know about it, I just never watched it.
You're going to cry your heart out, and that's why I can only watch it once, because it was that crazy. But the person that played Corey Wise, I forget what his name is, he won like an Emmy or something for his
role.
It's so sad, but they literally like held these kids for like 17 hours. It was crazy how long they had them under like circumstances, like literally like, you did this, you know you did this, just tell us what happened.
I'm gonna go back to Juan, because they did that with Juan actually. Didn't the detective change everything to prove that it was Juan? I'm pretty sure.
I haven't seen that documentary in a minute, but I think so.
Because basically the detectives with the Central Park 5, they were trying to make them say, like, this is what you did. And then after the 7 hours, they finally got their confession on videotape. So for 7 hours, they were coaching them on what to say. But I'm pretty sure, if I recall, in the Long Shot documentary, Juan, the prosecutors or the detectives that were trying to get Juan, they actually circled his picture in an eyewitness photo and actually
like this is the person that did it.
Yeah, okay. But it wasn't true. And then at the end of that, go watch it, because at the end of it, the detectives are actually admitting that they did that.
See, and that's so messed up, because that's like bringing into like we talked about the lawyers already, and like making sure you're actually like doing what you need to do, making sure you're getting all the evidence for your client, regardless of. I'm sorry, I will only say, like, if you're actually innocent.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not, like, not saying do the bare minimum if you're a lawyer for them, but, like, if you know for a fact this person did not do it, make sure you're, like, doing what you need to do to get that evidence and get that person acquitted. But it also boils down to the police officers that are involved and, like, tasked
the detectives
with trying to figure out the crimes and what happened and compiling all the evidence that they possibly can. And 9 times out of 10, I want to say, they actually don't do that. And like you said, it's probably dependent upon where people live and stuff like that.
Like right here, the 2 detectives that were working on the case, they admitted that they were purposely asking Juan questions to incriminate himself when they first arrested him. They tried to scare him by circling his picture after he was arrested.
Yeah.
So,
because like for them, it's probably all about the numbers. Like, I need to have like 10 convictions this month because my superior is telling me this.
They don't say that they have a quota, but
they do.
They have a quota. Notice at the end of the month how many people are getting pulled over. Before it hits the first, look on the side of the road or just look around you and notice how many police officers are out trying to pull people over. I'm telling you.
No, but if it's like about somebody's life, like take away, like do your job correctly, and like you're gonna literally force somebody to live in a cage for the rest of your life because you didn't want to go and talk to this lead on this witness, or get the evidence from this person, or do what you're supposed to do. Your job. Because you just want to get that conviction and move on to the next one. Like,
they just want to get paid. And it's worse for public defenders too, because public defenders, they get paid from the state.
And they're very overwhelmed,
too. They're getting paid regardless. So they have at least, like, a 50-people caseload, like 50-person caseload. So, like,
more than that.
Hypothetically, speaking, because there's multiple public defenders. So,
true.
But they have a lot of people on their caseload. So public defenders, they're still getting paid regardless. So that's why, say you got a public defender for a case that you know you didn't do, if you get convicted for that, 9 times out of 10, probably because you have a public defender, and they're
doing the bare minimum
regardless.
Right.
You don't pay them, they get paid by the state. So,
which is sad, because it's like, why go into a career where you don't want to actually help people? Like, that's just so mind-blowing to me.
Like, why don't you go to actual private practice at
that
point?
Right.
But most of public defenders do have private practices too.
And they do the public defender on the side.
Yes.
Oh, God.
So,
do you have any thoughts and opinions on what needs to change real quick? Because I gave my opinion on what I think. Just do your job right.
Literally, like, y'all just gotta care. Like, I've worked in prison system. So, like, being a correctional officer, like, I see it from that side, like, after they come in, from the police officers that have treated them horribly.
Right.
Like, they think that everyone's like that because of the police officer. That's their first encounter before they come to prison.
Right.
So if the police officer is acting like a straight bihaha,
douche canoe.
Yeah, and then they bring you, and their police officer just drops you and leaves. Like, they don't gotta deal with that.
They don't care, right?
Same thing with the public defender. They don't care, because they just got it. Your case is done. All right, let me go to my next one. I'm still getting paid. Like, just care. Like, literally, they're still humans. Regardless of what happened, they're still humans. Like,
yeah, humans that may have messed up, made a mistake down the line. That doesn't mean they're
horrible people.
They're, like, no.
Like, some people just don't understand, I guess. Like, there's been multiple people in the prison that I've worked at that they come back because they don't know how to function on the outside.
Outside, yeah.
And that's another thing. Prisons need to have programs like that, like rehabilitation programs to get you back on the outside. They don't do that. They send you a bill. Like, here, you were in here.
Yo, you said that the other day. I think you were like, yeah, you get a bill after you get out of jail. I'm like, wait,
you literally get a bill in the mail.
I did not know that.
For however much money, however long you were there. Like, if you're in county, you're only there for 2 years. You can only be in county prison for up to 2 years. Mm-hmm. It's like 2 years a day under. Like, it's some saying that they say. So if your sentence is up to 5, 6, 7 years, you're getting transferred to state after 2 years. So you have to spend 2 years in county, and then you're getting transferred to state for another 5 years.
So you get the bill after county.
You get the bill after county and state.
Oh, damn. I did not know that. And that's so crazy that they even do that, because people are making money off of people in jail. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they're making money off of having X amount of people incarcerated, and then you mean to tell me you're still going to send a bill to somebody?
Yeah, so like, even if you do get arrested and you already had prior charges or fines, and you try to get like commissary or money on your books,
right,
they take that until your fine is paid up.
That's crazy.
So if your fine is paid up after 6 months and you're about to get out, you didn't get that commissary for 6 months because that went towards your fine.
Right.
And then you're still getting out to get your other court costs and fees, like your housing, like you still get out to get all that. Literally, I'm telling you, if you ever see I'll see if I can find one, a breakdown of the amount of money that it comes on a fine or anything like that, you'll be astounded. $25 for shoes, like $25 for a picture. Like, literally, they charge you for like every little thing.
I'm about to hop on Google real quick and try to find one.
I'll show you. I'll try to find one for you.
Example.
But it's horrible. They just need to change, literally, like, the whole system.
The whole system does need to be changed. Like, obviously, it's like grateful that we're in America and that you can even have a trial. But like, they say like a right to a speedy trial.
That shit ain't speedy.
No, it's like literally
2 or 3 years later.
Yeah, even longer than that. Biondi's still waiting.
Literally.
For them to even like approve a possible trial, which after they approve it, it could even still be longer, like 2 more years, 3 more years.
Yeah, y'all just care about them, literally. That's what I feel.
Yeah, get some programs up, like Ciarra said, because America is like the only country that literally doesn't have any rehabilitation programs.
Transitioning.
Yeah,
literally. Like they do have like halfway houses and stuff, but that's like that's for like people that are like on drugs or like.
But that's not really helping.
Rehabilitation. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, they think that like halfway houses and like what is it like work release and stuff like that. Like that's your privileges type thing. And you're transitioning because you go typically from the county to work release if you get a job or if you get approved.
True.
But you still have to come back and everything. But they're still not giving you counseling and how to actually understand the outside world. So,
well, just know that there are things available. Hopefully. In your local area, and
it should be.
Just be an advocate too. If you see something wrong or you're involved in something, just make sure whoever you're talking to is doing what they need to do. But any last thoughts?
You want to tell them what we talk about next episode?
Next episode, we got our trainers in the building.
I can't stand y'all. Just to let you know.
No, both our faces were like.
If you ever listen to this, y'all, I can't stand y'all, but I got love for y'all. Just saying.
They've been whipping our butts for the past 5 weeks, but no, we are going to have them on to talk about healthy lifestyle living in America. Is America actually healthy?
No.
Or not? And where changes need to happen.
And they're twins too, so.
They're twins, and hopefully they can give us an actual, like, raw, real, because they help people get into fitness.
Yes, they have their own business.
Healthy living.
So. Y'all will hear more from them
straight
from the source. So we got them coming. But you want to drop our socials again?
I will gladly drop the socials. Okay. So our Facebook is official Nameless Podcast. Instagram Nameless_podcast_. We are 16 away from our 300th like. And if you're our 300th like, you get a free Nameless Podcast hoodie. And if your friend helps us or is the 300th like, then you get a hoodie too. So technically there's like two free hoodies out there for the taken. So make sure you give us a follow on our Facebook. We do have all the links to all the places you can listen to our podcast, and hopefully you guys are enjoying second season. We got a lot more content coming out for you guys. And this is Alicia.
This is Ciarra.
And you're listening to the Nameless Podcast, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.
Hey, what's up? Be the Change Hotline. We're closed right now. Leave a message, and I'll get back to you soon.
Nameless? Hey, yo, is this Nameless Podcast? I heard y'all was being the change. Guess I missed y'all. I'll see y'all later.